Hi there, one meteorologist Robert Spetta here with you today. It is currently the 31st of July, 2014. The main topic out here has been Tropical Storm Nakri today, pushing across the southern Japanese islands. This one has been packing some gusty winds. Winds already reported out here up to 108 kilometers per hour there into Okinawa this morning. This is actually coming from the Kadena Air Force Base there on Okinawa, and you can see these gusty winds. We were looking at sustained tropical storm strength winds throughout this morning. One of these outer range bands that pushed overhead, and as we look ahead through Thursday night into Friday morning, the conditions will continue to deteriorate. I know right now, if you are in Naha and much of Okinawa, maybe it might seem a little like it's cleared up a little bit, but it's because we have this very large circulation of a storm. Actually, look at the satellite imagery, and what you can see out here on the latest sat imagery is really the width of this storm system. Here's your low pressure center right here. Circulation extends all the way down here towards the south and then off towards the north. And that reason, this is not your typical tropical storm, but for that reason, and despite us already seeing tropical storm strength winds out here in the southern Japanese islands, is why there is also so much ridiculous confusion today. Actually, so much confusion to the point where some TV agencies associated with the U.S. military, I'm not going to say any names, have gone as far to say that this storm system is associated with Tropical Storm Halong back towards the east. Take a look at our winds. I laugh at it because it's almost comical. Our storm system near Guam, they're saying that the winds in Okinawa are coming off of the storm system in Guam, and that our storm system in Okinawa is not a tropical storm, despite not one, but over 5 agencies. I just put 5 on this graphic saying this. So you have Japan, China, Taiwan, Philippines, Korea, but the Joint Typhoon Warning Center for the U.S. military, where the bulk of my viewers come from here and people joining us here at the Facebook page, that's why you're confused. It's because people are using the JTWC as the end-all and send-all, and it differs from everybody else. You're watching TV, your local channels, and it says there's a typhoon Junivan, which is continuing to push overhead. So what's the forecast? All right, I had to get out of my system because it has been such a confusing day out here that it almost hurts. Like, people saying there is not despite it not being a tropical cyclone, is what I've seen a few times, and some people saying it was associated with Halong. The conditions are going to go downhill, though. We're still going to be seeing these rough weather out here across Okinawa. Actually, going through Friday morning, the Japan Meteorological Agency is expecting winds upwards about 120 kilometers per hour, especially along the southern coastlines. And that's because as this pushes off there towards the north, we're going to get those winds shifting in from the southwest, and that's going to push on shore, creating also these waves about 6 to 7 meters high. I guess the good news is by the weekend, at least, it does look like conditions will improve. If throughout Friday, it's going to stay rough out here for you. You're definitely going to be seeing tropical storm strength, sustained winds, and then tapering off by Saturday morning into the afternoon hours. So definitely tropical storm warnings are in place at this time. Take a look at the Japan Meteorological Agency's actually track. This is something I want to show you, is that what we're going to be having is our storm system pushing off there towards the north. You see that yellow circle extending out towards the west and towards the east? That is the length of these gale force or tropical storm strength winds. So a lot of people are going to be impacted by this. And actually, one good news for the military is that it does look like one of the commanders out there have gone ahead and issued that storm watch for those of you in Okinawa, despite them saying that it's still not a tropical cyclone, but beyond the point. Still pushing off here towards the north. Eventually, western Japan and Korea are going to be impacted by this as well. So you're going to see some heavy rainfall coming out of this storm system as it does continue to track off there towards the north, and possibly even some flooding rains into parts of Kyushu and also over towards South Korea as well. These showers are really going to continue to come down. So this is something we want to watch. Ongoing situation on Saturday and the Sunday. Actually, some areas into Kyushu could see as much as 200 to 300 millimeters of rainfall. So flooding is definitely going to be a major threat. Long range. I do want to talk about this before I let you guys go. We are, of course, still watching Halong, that storm system I mentioned earlier about the one out near Guam. Model outlooks. Let's talk about this model outlooks, because at this time we still have a long range on this storm. It's way back there towards the west, and it really is struggling in its organization. Kind of exposed there in a few four frames. Still a lot of convection, but it still has a pretty tight circulation. So what that means is we still have a pretty decent chance of this storm system gaining some strength and pushing off there towards the northwest. Take a look at the NavGem model. If you are in Okinawa in the southern Japanese islands, you will find this interesting. 1 week out, it just sits over there as a typhoon, pretty much parks overhead. Our GFS model, 1 week out as well, pushes towards the Amani Islands, just towards the north of Okinawa, and it parks and then eventually turns off towards the northeast. So this is what we're watching right now. There is the possibility of Halong, which affected Guam and brought all that rough weather out there for you, and I mean some severe flooding actually took place and some damage that could work all its way over there towards Japan. A lot of stuff going on here today. That forecast will come a little bit more certain once we get rid of Halong, though, and that gets out of the way and stops steering the energy away from, once we get rid of Nakri and stop stealing away the energy of Halong. All right, guys, that is all for right now. Thanks again for watching here at WesternPacificWeather.com. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can always post them down in the comment box below. All right, stay safe out there.